Did you ever hear of Kong? Why, yes. Some native superstition, isn't it? A god or a spirit or something. Well, anyway, neither beast nor man. Something monstrous, all-powerful, still living, still holding that island in a grip of deadly fear. Did you strip of this Kong? It's the biggest thing in the world. Why, shoot those men off that log like they were flies.
All those men lost. It's incredible.
Driscoll said he'd try and signal us if he found Ann. And we, my partners and I, have brought back the living proof of our adventure. An adventure in which 12 of our party met horrible death. Ladies and gentlemen, look at Kong, the eighth wonder of the world.
What is up, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. This is Phil, the Kaiju King, from my collection room here in Greater Cincinnati, and today I'm doing a rehash video of a great project that Mark Singing made for me. It was a special deal. It's a multi-piece deal. It's pretty delicate, so I do have it right behind me here, directly on my table. I'll do the bases and then the 3 separate pieces, and then the actual figure itself. It is the King Kong 1933 Rampage Ravine log scene project. I will bring forth one of the bases first, and I'll do that right now. Alright, here is the log base, I call it, because this is where the base of the log is that these sailors are crossing in the movie, in the scene when they confront Kong for the first time. And it is wedged in here for the log to set in here perfectly. As far as on the base, if you look all around it, it's got nice details on the front side here where the log comes out over the ravine. Has really nice texturing on the rocks and stuff, a little bit of moss, but not a lot on this side. But on the sides and the back here, it is really abounding with the green moss effects and such as that, and green vining. That was apparent on Skull Island in the 33 film. It was a heavily abounded on the film. On the island in that movie, there was a lot of I mean, even though it was black and white, you could see it and feel it in the movie, in my opinion, that it was just very much prevalent in the on the island at that time. But this is the log base that the log sets on for the sailors, and it's a pretty really detailed piece, part of this whole project. I will go on to the Kong base. I call it the Kong base. This is the part that Kong sits on opposite of this, and we will look at that piece right now. Alright, I'm back, and this is the Kong base for the 33 custom Kong Rampage Ravine project, and it's a pretty large base, of course, but the Kong is kind of big too, so that makes sense. On the very front here, you see a figure. It depicts Jack Driscoll when he jumps from the log when Kong first comes and climbs down the vines into a cave in the side of the ravine. That's what this depicts, the figure there. Up here on the platform is where Kong resides, and it's really nicely detailed with all the mossy trees and vining and everything. There's vines hanging off the trees and everything. There's moss all over the deck here of the base. Up here is a log with a flat piece on it right here. That is where he made an Andero figure that sits here, but she fell in my hardwood floor diorama room and her arm broke, and she's not as stable as she was, so I didn't bring her down for this because I was just figured I'd drop her again, so I figured I'd just leave her out. But she sits right here perfectly if she's in good condition. And of course, on the sides you've got vines hanging down, especially on the wall in the front here where the Jack Driscoll is climbing down. On the sides of it, there's nice rock texture formations. And on the back here, you can really see a lot of the vine detail on the trees and stuff. Really mossy effects with this, these two bases. They pull this thing together, in my opinion. The two bases really make it unique and dynamic in multiple ways. So really nicely done, though. All right, I will bring forth now the actual log with the sailors on it, which is the third of 4 pieces to this project, and we will take a look at that right now. All right, everybody, I'm back. This is the third of 4 pieces, the log for the actual sailors that are crossing to confront when they confront Kong. It's really detailed. The end of it here, multiple root systems sticking out. The other end here goes on the log base. This is in Kong's hand actually when it's all set up. 4 sailors are on it, 1 standing, 1 laying in the middle, 1 hanging on for dear life on the side, and 1 here about to fall off. As far as the log, there's multiple mossy effects on it. Makes it really nice, really cool. Nicely done part of this project. We will go on now to actually Kong himself real quickly. Right away. Right, everybody, I'm back. Here is star of the show, Kong, 1933. He's a pretty big figure. I will have some size comparisons momentarily. As far as the scene in the movie, it's one of the epic scenes of the movie, the log, I call it the log scene. It's also called Rampage Ravine. It's epic, it's awesome. First time the sailors and the crew of the Venture get a look at Kong and his awesomeness and his fury and rage and everything. It's really awesome. This is my favorite movie, of course, of all time. It got me into collecting figures and collecting kaiju and into kaiju. So I had this done by Mark Sang-Yang, and it's a great project and a great piece. As far as this figure, his left hand is down, knuckles down on the ground. Right hand is cupped, both for holding the log, and he can hold the Andero figure there in his hand. His feet are spread apart and his left foot is forward, but they're nicely done. You can see definition on the toenails for sure on both feet, really nice. The fur on his whole body is really nicely done by Mark. It's you can see nice fur detail all over him. It's no doubt it's really nicely done. You can see it nicely also on his back. He has a really wide, broad back, which is nice. And just a really overall good figure. Yeah, really nicely done. I do love his side profile a lot of his head. It's really nice. It shows off the nice dome effect on his head. A nice big brow ridge the 33 Kong had, so that's really nice. Nice dome head, like I said. He's got nice sculpted ears there. As far as his eyes, he's kind of looking down. They're white with a black pupil, and he's kind of looking down, like he's looking at the soldiers on the log in a very threatening way. His nice wide nostrils there, nicely done by Mark. Inside of his mouth, he has a lot of nice teeth detail and everything, big fang molars and all that, and just very nicely, nice canine fangs, I should say, nicely done. And his tongue is nicely sculpted as well. It's just a really overall nicely done Kong 1933 figure, and I'm very glad that I own this thing. I will go on to about 4 size comparisons right now, and at the end, after the size comparisons, I'll bring the whole setup up here on the table so it can be seen all together. We'll go to the first size comparison right now. Alright everybody, I am back. Here's my custom 33 Kong with the X Plus 30 centimeter Kong Skull Island 2017. They look really good together. Of course, this is a bigger figure. He's more than 30 centimeter, but I thought I would bring up the 30 centimeter Kong to show some scaling there. But they do look good together though, nonetheless. Had to bring up an X Plus Kong. Right now this is the only X Plus Kong I have, so hoping for more. Alright, we'll go on to the next size comparison right now. Alright everybody, I'm back. My next size comparison is the gigantic Godzilla 54 X Plus Yuji Sakai and my custom Kong. Had to bring up a few gigantics just to show the scale here, but they look pretty cool together. This Kong is hunched, so I'd say if he's more standing up, he's going to be a lot closer in height to Godzilla. He'd probably gain an inch in height if he wasn't slouched. So, but they look pretty good together. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Alright, let's go on to my next size comparison, and we'll do that right now. Alright everybody, I'm back, and I have the X Plus Gigantic Godzilla 1962 here with my custom Kong 33. Had to bring up the only Godzilla to this date that has fought Kong, so had to do that. To me that just made sense, so it's pretty cool. King Goji. Next year we'll have a King Goji 2.0. The legendary Godzilla will fight the legendary Kong. That will be an epic movie, I'm sure. Alright, we'll go on to a quick final size comparison, and we'll do that right away. Alright everybody, my final size comparison is my Prime 1 Studios Gamera 1999 vinyl edition with my custom Kong 33. Gamera pretty much downsizes him in every way, but that's why I brought forth Gamera, to show the more size difference. Also, I brought those X Plus figures for, because a lot of people have those, and they can see some scaling with my Kong here, so which makes a lot of sense. Alright, we will move on to the whole setup of this Kong project. I'll have it here on the table and my closing thoughts, and we'll move on to that right away. Alright everybody, here it is, the whole setup. Got the log base, the Kong base, the log itself with the sailors attached, and the mighty Kong on the other side sending a lot of them to their impending death, which was an epic scene in that film. And this whole project was an epic project that Mark did for me, and he did a fantastic job in my eyes and in my opinion. Couldn't be happier with the project. It turned out very, very, very well, and his workmanship shows in it. His love for the genre, for Kong, shows in this, along with my other Kong projects back here in my collection. They're all pretty much top-notch efforts and grade A quality work by Mark, and I highly recommend him, especially with everything, but with Kongs. Kongs are not, we just don't have enough Kongs from anyone really, but especially like X Plus, the quality. Like that 2017 Kong is just stupendous, and it's amazing. And it's a shame we don't have more. Now they're Star Ace and X Plus are doing another Kong 17, or version 2 fighting version it's called. He's roaring, and he's got his arms spread out, and he's roaring. So that's going to be nice. I guess that'll be coming out like at the end of the year, so that'll be really nice to add to the collection. But we need these other Kongs too. It would be nice to see a 33 and a 62, a 67, a 76, a 2005. I'd just like to have every rendition of the Kongs that has been out there, so I would buy them all. So this was a project I approached Mark about, and we talked it over and quickly came up with what we wanted and the idea of it, and it went from there, and it turned out to be a really massive project, but a great project, and I love every aspect of it. He knocked it out of the park. Can't praise this project high enough. I will bring the camera forth for the close-up of this special piece, and I want to thank everyone for tuning in and watching my channel and watching my videos. I do appreciate everyone so much. This is Phil, the Kaiju King, from my collection room in Greater Cincinnati, and you all have a wonderful, wonderful day.